Welcome to Monk's Temple. Please, come in and get comfortable. I know you're here because something feels off. That low-grade hum of worry in the background of your day. That tightness in your chest when you think about your to-do list. That feeling of being mentally fragmented, pulled in 10 directions, never quite present wherever you are. You're not broken. You're human. And you've just taken the first, brave step by seeking a different way. Let's begin with a simple recognition. Right now, pause and notice what's happening in your mind. Is it replaying a conversation? Planning a meal? Worrying about a future task? This constant mental motion is what we often call thinking, but in Buddhist psychology, it's seen as a default state of scattering. The mind, untrained, is like a leaf in a stream, carried by every current of thought, memory, and anticipation. We identify so completely with this leaf that we believe we are the motion. The stress we feel is the exhaustion of being perpetually swept along. The core insight of the Buddha, the revolutionary discovery he made 2,500 years ago, was that this identification is optional. Suffering, dukkha, is not the pain itself, but our resistance to the flow of experience, our frantic grasping at some moments and pushing away of others. He laid out a path of understanding, not blind belief, and it starts with one profound shift. From being lost in your experience to being wisely aware of it. Let me illustrate with a story. Meet Ben, a graphic designer. Ben's creativity was also his curse. His mind was a browser with infinite tabs open, client revisions, color palettes, self-doubt, invoice reminders, comparison with other artists' work. He felt like he was living in a mental hallway where all the doors were slightly ajar, voices leaking out from every room. His attempt to find peace was to try and slam all the doors shut through force of will. It never worked, the mental effort just created more noise. One rainy Sunday, his internet went out. Frustrated, with no digital distractions, he sat by the window and just watched the rain streak down the glass. He noticed how each droplet would form, trail downwards, and merge with others. His mind, reflexively, started to comment, "That one's moving fast. That one's crooked." He noticed this commentary. Then, he tried something. He decided to just watch the drops without the internal narration. Just silent observation of the visual phenomenon of falling water. For maybe 90 seconds, something shifted. The mental hallway went quiet. He wasn't thinking about the rain, he was experiencing it. In that gap, he felt a palpable sense of space inside his own head. The doors didn't slam shut, they just ceased to be the focus. He was no longer in the hallway. He was in a quiet, central room simply looking out a window. This was Ben's accidental introduction to mindfulness. He didn't achieve nirvana on a rainy afternoon. He simply discovered there was a place to stand within his own mind that wasn't chaotic. He discovered the observer. If Ben's moment of unexpected quiet resonates with you, then you already understand the goal. This isn't about emptying the mind. It's about changing your address within it. If you'd like to learn how to find that quiet central room more often, consider subscribing to Monk's Temple. Your subscription supports this work and creates a community dedicated to real, inner change. Now, let's ground this in the timeless framework the Buddha provided. The Four Noble Truths are not a religion, they are a masterful psychological model. The first truth is the acknowledgement of the problem: life contains unease. From minor irritation to deep grief, Friction is part of the deal. To deny this is to live at war with reality. Acceptance here isn't passivity, it's the clear-eyed courage to say, this, too, is part of the experience. It stops the secondary suffering of protesting what already is. The second truth identifies the cause, craving. Tanha. This is the mental habit of leaning toward what we want, away from what we don't. It's the if only narrative. If only I had that job, I'd be happy. If only this anxiety would stop, I could live. This constant leaning creates a perpetual state of unbalance, of never being fully at rest in the present. The third truth is the liberating promise: this cause can be undone. The leaning can stop. A state of peace and equilibrium, of nibbana, is an attainable human experience, not a mythical afterlife. It is the natural state of the mind when it is no longer fueling the fires of craving and aversion. The fourth truth is the practical prescription, the path. And every step on this noble eightfold path depends on the cornerstone, right view, seeing things as they truly are. Not through the distorted lens of our wants and fears, but with clarity. And how do we develop this clarity? We train in attention. We learn to steady our awareness. This is where the most accessible, powerful tool enters, the breath. The practice of mindful breathing, or anapanasati, is the foundational training ground for the mind. Let me offer you a new metaphor. Imagine your awareness is a vast, clear sky. Your thoughts, feelings, and sensations are weather in that sky, passing clouds, flashes of lightning, patches of fog, brilliant sunshine. For your whole life, you've believed you are the weather. If a storm cloud of anger appears, you think, I am angry. If a cold fog of sadness rolls in, you think, I am sad. You are at the mercy of the forecast. Mindfulness is the profound shift of realizing you are the sky, not the weather. The sky holds all weather patterns without being damaged, changed, or permanently stained by them. A hurricane can pass through, but the sky remains the sky. Your breath is your anchor to this sky-like nature. Feeling the breath is like feeling the vast, open, receptive space that you fundamentally are. When you focus on the physical sensation of the breath, you are turning your attention from the passing storm cloud to the enduring sky that contains it. Let's try a brief anchor exercise right now. Wherever you are, just pause. 1. Feel the physical weight of your body supported by the chair or floor. 2. Now, bring your attention to the very tip of your nose. Feel the slightest sensation of air moving in and out. Cool on the in-breath, slightly warmer on the out-breath. 3. Do this for 3 breath cycles. Your only job is to detect that subtle sensation. 4. If your mind wanders into thought, and it will, gently note, thinking, and return your attention to the tiny point of sensation at the nostrils. You've just taken your first conscious step. You moved from being lost in the weather of your thoughts to touching the sky of your awareness, using the breath as your point of contact. This is the beginning of wisdom. This is where your path truly starts. Let's continue. In part 1, we touched the sky of awareness. We used the breath as an anchor to move from being lost in the weather of our thoughts to resting in the space that holds them. This isn't just a poetic idea, it's a neurological repatterning. Every time you consciously return from a whirlwind of worry to the simple physical sensation of your breath, you are doing something radical. You are weakening a deep-seated habit of entanglement and strengthening a new neural pathway of clarity. Think of your brain's stress response, the fight or flight system, as a well-worn dirt path in a forest. Every time you get hijacked by anxiety about a future meeting or anger about a past slight, you walk that path again, making it deeper, more automatic. The practice of mindful awareness is the deliberate act of starting to clear a new path right beside it. At first, this new path is faint, overgrown. It's easy to slip back onto the old, familiar dirt road. But with gentle, persistent steps, each breath-focused moment being one step, the new path becomes more defined. One day, when a stressor arises, you'll find you have a choice: the old, reactive path, or the new path of calm, clear seeing. This is the transformative power embedded in the Buddhist teaching on sati, or mindfulness. It is the faculty of remembering to come back. Not to a belief, but to a direct experience. And from this grounded place, we can begin to examine the very structure of our suffering, which the Buddha outlined with breathtaking precision in his teaching on the 3 marks of existence. Let me explain these through a story about a woman named Lena. Lena was a project manager, a master of timelines and outcomes. Her entire sense of worth was tied to completion, to crossing things off a list. When projects went smoothly, she felt valuable. When they hit snags, a delayed shipment, a sick team member, her world would subtly crumble. She interpreted every obstacle as a personal failure, a tear in the fabric of how things should be. Her stress was chronic because life, by its nature, is chronically unpredictable. Lena's breakthrough came during a forced pause. A major project was delayed by a full week due to factors entirely outside her control. The old dirt path of panic and self-recrimination opened up before her. But she had been dabbling with breath awareness. Sitting at her desk, feeling the swell of frustration, she remembered to feel her feet on the floor. She took 3 conscious breaths. In that tiny space, a new thought arose, not as a belief but as a direct perception: this situation is changing. It was on schedule, now it's delayed. It will change again. She saw the impermanence, anicca, of the condition, not as a philosophical concept, but as the simple, observable truth of the moment. Seeing this, she noticed the tight fist of her identification with the outcome loosen slightly. The project's delay was an event. Her crushing sense of being a failure was a story she was adding to it, a story that caused the majority of her pain. This was her glimpse of not self, anatta. She was not the project's success or failure, those were temporary conditions passing through her field of responsibility. The exhaustion she felt was the unsatisfactoriness, dukkha, of trying to force a fluid reality to be solid and controllable. From this clearer space, her action changed. Instead of firing off frantic emails from a place of fear, she paused. She observed the new conditions, assessed the actual options, and communicated a revised plan with a calm clarity that inspired her team rather than spreading panic. She had moved from being a victim of change to being a wise responder to conditions. This is the alchemy of mindfulness. It doesn't remove life's difficulties, it transforms your relationship to them, changing the very quality of the difficulty from a world-ending threat to a manageable event. The Buddha's path is often called the middle way because it navigates between the extremes of indulgence and harsh asceticism. In psychological terms, it's the path between being overwhelmed by emotion and suppressing emotion. It's the middle ground of allowing and observing. Let's build a practical skill here, a method for working with intense emotion when it strikes. We'll call it R.A.I.N, a modern mindfulness acronym that beautifully aligns with the core Buddhist principles of compassionate investigation. R. Recognize. This is applying sati, mindfulness. When a strong feeling like anger, anxiety, or sadness arises, simply recognize, anger is here. Name it softly, inwardly. This first step alone creates a critical inch of separation. You are no longer just angry, you are aware that anger is present. Allow. This is the practice of non-resistance, based on the first noble truth. Instead of fighting the feeling, I shouldn't be angry, try, just for this moment, to allow it to be. This doesn't mean you approve of the cause, it means you cease the inner war with your own reality. It is giving the weather permission to be in the sky. Whisper to yourself, it's okay. This, too. This step disarms the secondary suffering of shame or frustration about having the feeling. I investigate. This is vipassana, insight. With gentle, kind curiosity, turn toward the feeling. Where do you feel it in the body? Is it heat? Pressure? Fluttering? Is it static or moving? Don't analyze why you feel it, just feel the raw, physical signature. This inquiry shifts you from the abstract story, "He ruined my day," to the concrete, present moment sensation, a burning in the chest. Sensations are manageable, stories are infinite. N. Non-identify. This is the insight of anatta, not self. As you investigate, you might realize, this is a sensation of heat and pressure. It arose due to conditions. It will change and pass. This is not the core of me. It is a passing state. This is the ultimate liberation. You are the sky knowing the storm, not the storm itself. Let's walk through a quick, embodied example. Imagine you feel a spike of anxiety about an upcoming social event. Recognize, anxiety is here. Allow, it's okay to feel this tightness. Investigate, feel where it lives. Is it a knot in the stomach? A constriction in the throat? Just feel the physical qualities. Non-identify, this is a feeling of tightness. It's not all of me. It came, it will go. This process, practiced repeatedly, builds what psychologists call emotional regulation and what Buddhist practice calls equanimity, upekkha, a balanced heart that is not thrown off by life's inevitable ups and downs. We began with brain pathways and arrived at the balanced heart. This is the integrated beauty of this path. It is a science of the mind that leads to an art of living. You are not just managing symptoms, you are cultivating a resilient, wise, and compassionate presence. A presence that can meet Ben's mental hallway, Lena's project delays, and your own unique challenges not as a fragile leaf in the stream, but as the clear, steady awareness that can see the stream itself. Our work now turns outward. We've cultivated inner awareness, the steady sky that holds the passing weather of thoughts and emotions. But life isn't lived in isolation. It's a dynamic dance of relationships, and this is where our practice meets its most potent test. The colleague who interrupts, the family member who criticizes, the stranger whose mere presence feels like an intrusion, these aren't obstacles to your peace. They are the sacred ground where peace is forged. Buddhist wisdom provides a master key for this relational world, the understanding of projection. We do not see people as they are, we see them through the filter of our own minds, through our wounds, our desires, and our deeply held stories. That person who triggers sharp irritation in you. Look closely. Their behavior is likely touching a raw, unseen part within yourself, a place of insecurity, a hidden judgment, or a disowned quality. The conflict out there is first a conflict in here that has found a mirror. Let me share a story about a man named Robert. Robert had a younger colleague, Jamie, whose confidence bordered on what Robert perceived as arrogance. Jamie spoke up in meetings, took initiative on projects, and often received praise from their boss. Every interaction left Robert simmering with a quiet, acidic resentment. His inner monologue was a stream of criticism, so full of himself. Doesn't respect experience. Robert's stress wasn't from Jamie's actions, but from his own relentless, reactive story about them. One day, after a meeting where Jamie had shone, Robert went for a walk, his mind churning. He remembered his anchor. He stopped and felt his feet on the pavement. He felt his breath, short and sharp. He allowed the feeling of resentment to be there, a hot, tight coil in his gut. And then, with curiosity, he asked himself, what is this really about? Beneath the heat, he found something softer and more vulnerable, fear. The fear of being obsolete. The fear that his own quieter, more methodical contributions were no longer valued. Jamie wasn't the problem. Jamie was a spotlight shining on Robert's own unexamined insecurity about his place in a changing world. In that moment of clear seeing, the resentment towards Jamie didn't just vanish, but it transformed. It was no longer about him. It was about a tender feeling within me that needed attention and compassion, not projection and blame. This is a critical application of the Buddhist teaching on right view. It is seeing the interconnected nature of suffering. Robert's suffering was not caused by Jamie, it was caused by his reaction to Jamie, which was rooted in his own unmet fears. When he saw this, the entire dynamic lost its charge. He could see Jamie more clearly, as a talented, perhaps overly eager, young professional, and he could tend to his own fear with kindness. His next interaction with Jamie was neutral, even collegial. The war was over because Robert had stopped enlisting. This leads us to one of the most powerful intentional practices in this tradition, the cultivation of Maitri, or loving kindness. This is not about manufacturing fake affection. It is the disciplined practice of setting an intention for goodwill. You start with yourself, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. Then, you systematically extend this wish for well-being outward. Let's practice this now. Settle for a moment. 1. Place a hand gently over your heart. Feel the warmth, the beat. Silently offer these wishes to yourself. May I be safe from inner and outer harm. May I have a calm and clear mind. May I live with a sense of ease. 2. Now, bring to mind someone you naturally care for, a child, a dear friend, a mentor. See their face. Offer them the same wishes. May you be safe. May you be calm. May you live with ease. 3. Next, bring to mind a neutral person, someone you see but don't know, like a neighbor or a shop clerk. Wish them well. 4. Finally, if you feel ready, bring to mind a difficult person. You are not approving of their actions. You are acknowledging their humanity and wishing for the root of their own suffering to ease. Offer the wish. May you, too, find peace. This practice rewires the heart's habitual responses. It builds a reservoir of goodwill that you can draw from intense moments. When you next encounter a challenging person, instead of the immediate flare of aversion, you might feel the faint echo of that wish, creating just enough space to choose a wiser response. The ultimate frontier of relationship, however, is the one you have with yourself. For many, the inner world is a courtroom where the self is perpetually on trial. A minor mistake brings the gavel down, idiot. A perceived failure unleashes a torrent of criticism, you never get it right. This inner critic, often mistaken for a motivator, is a primary source of chronic stress and self-estrangement. The Buddhist path offers the antidote, self-compassionate awareness. This is the practice of bringing the same mindful, kind witness you might offer a struggling friend to your own struggling moments. When the critic attacks, you don't argue with it or believe it. You notice it. Ah, the critical voice is here. You feel the bodily impact of its words. The slump in the shoulders, the sinking in the gut. And then, you might offer the same matri phrases to yourself. May this part of me feel safe. May it be held in kindness. This is not self-pity. It is intelligent self-care. A plant cannot grow if you pour acid on its roots. Your psyche cannot flourish under constant inner attack. By meeting your own pain with compassionate awareness, you are not weakening yourself, you are building an unshakable inner sanctuary. From this place of inner friendship, you can meet the outer world without needing it to validate or complete you. Your relationships become choices, not needs. Your interactions become expressions of your wholeness, not attempts to find it. We now arrive at a beautiful and essential turn in the path. We've cultivated inner stillness and brought wise awareness to our relationships. But what about the other 95% of life? The drive to work, the dishes in the sink, the emails, the grocery shopping. We often see these as the mundane backdrop to our real life, the filler between meaningful moments. This is a critical misunderstanding. In the wisdom of the Buddha, there is no separation between the spiritual and the ordinary. The sacred is hidden in plain sight, woven into the fabric of the everyday. The goal is not to escape daily life, but to fully inhabit it. This is the practice of mindfulness in action. The mind's habit is to flee the present. We physically wash a dish while mentally rehearsing a conversation, or we walk through a park while obsessively scrolling a screen. We treat the present moment as a waiting room for the next, more important event. This constant mental absence is a profound source of depletion. We are here, but we are never here. We miss our one, fleeting life as it happens. The practice now is to close that gap. To bring the quality of meditative awareness, that non-judgmental, curious attention, into simple activities. This transforms them from tedious tasks into portals of presence. The Buddhist term for this is samu, or work practice, where every action becomes an opportunity for mindful attention. Let me tell you about a woman named Chloe. Chloe was a writer who worked from home, and she despised her daily chores. Doing the laundry, cleaning the kitchen, these were resented interruptions to her creative time. She would rush through them, irritated, her mind already at her desk. One day, overwhelmed by a looming deadline and a pile of dirty dishes, she snapped. In frustration, she decided to try something absurd. She would wash just one dish with her full, complete attention. She filled the sink. She felt the temperature of the water on her skin. She picked up a single plate, feeling its weight, the smooth ceramic. She watched the soap suds form patterns, catching the light. She felt the sponge move in slow circles, the slight grit of a food particle, then the smoothness as it was cleaned. She rinsed it, watching the water sheet off, and placed it in the rack. It took about 90 seconds. In that time, there was no deadline, no anxiety. There was only the plate, the water, the sensation. For the first time, the chore was not an enemy. It was a neutral, even interesting, sensory experience. More importantly, when she returned to her desk, her mind was clearer, quieter, more available for creativity. She had not done the dishes, she had used the dishes to do her mind. This is the secret: any activity can be your meditation. The object of focus is not the breath, but the sensory details of the task itself. This trains the mind to inhabit the present as a default, not as a special occasion. Let's integrate this now with a core Buddhist principle, the perfection of diligence, virya. This doesn't mean grim effort. It means the sustained, joyful energy of bringing your whole self to what you are doing, right now. Here is a simple framework to practice this. The S.T.O.P practice for daily life. S.T.O.P. Whatever you are doing, just pause internally for one breath. T. Take a breath. Feel one full, conscious breath cycle in the body. O. Observe. Open your senses to the activity. What do you see in detail? What physical sensations are present, the steering wheel in your hands, the keyboard under your fingers? What sounds are around you? P. Proceed. Continue with the activity, carrying this heightened sensory awareness with you. Apply this while making your morning coffee. Stop before you grab the kettle. Take a breath. Observe the color of the coffee grounds, the sound of the water boiling, the smell that fills the air. Proceed to pour. You have just turned a routine into a ritual of presence. This practice dismantles the artificial hierarchy of experience. Waiting in line is no longer wasted time, it's an opportunity to feel your feet on the floor and observe human faces. Your commute is not a stressful limbo. It's a chance to listen to sounds or feel the motion of the vehicle. By reclaiming these lost moments, you reclaim your life from the tyranny of the thinking mind, which is always elsewhere. This leads to a profound shift in identity. We often define ourselves by our roles: parent, employee, artist, caregiver. We say, "I am stressed because my job is stressful." Mindfulness in action helps us see, there is the activity of the job, and there is the awareness that is experiencing it. You are not the stressed employee, you are the awareness that knows the feeling of stress while also seeing the computer screen, hearing the office sounds, feeling the chair. This subtle separation, practiced throughout the day, creates an inner refuge. You begin to carry the calm of the meditation cushion into the chaos of the boardroom. The activity may be intense, but the awareness holding it can remain spacious, clear, and unshakable. The ultimate fruit of this practice is what's known as flow or unity of mind. The mental chatter falls away because the mind is fully absorbed in the sensory reality of the task. You are no longer thinking about walking, you are feeling the walk. You are not worrying about the presentation, you are engaged in the act of preparing it, word by word. This state is both deeply peaceful and highly effective. It is where anxiety subsides and natural competence arises. So, begin today. Choose one routine activity: brushing your teeth, taking a shower, walking to your car. For the duration of that activity, let it be your entire universe. Let your senses lead. When the mind pulls you into planning or remembering, gently escort it back to the feeling of the toothbrush bristles, the temperature of the water, the rhythm of your steps. You are not just completing a task. You are training your mind to live a life of profound presence, where every moment is ripe with the possibility of awakening. The entire world becomes your monastery. Our journey now turns to one of the mind's most persistent and painful habits, time travel. Not in a physical sense, but in the mental obsession with the past and future. We dwell on what was, replaying conversations, regretting choices, nursing old wounds. We anxiously pre-live what might be. Imagining disasters, craving outcomes, fearing the unknown. In doing so, we abandon the only moment that is real, that is alive, that is ever actually happening, the present. This mental exile is a primary source of our suffering. The Buddha's teaching on impermanence, anicca, is the direct antidote to this. It's not a philosophical idea to be debated, but a living truth to be experienced. Everything that arises passes away. Every feeling, every thought, every circumstance. The regret you're clutching from last week? It's a memory, a mental image and a sensation in the present. The anxiety about tomorrow's meeting? It's a series of thoughts and bodily tension happening right now. We suffer because we try to make the temporary permanent. We try to freeze the past into a fixed story about who we are, and we try to control a future that is, by nature, utterly uncertain. The practice here is to develop a friendly relationship with flux. To see the constant flow of experience not as a threat, but as the fundamental nature of reality. When we align with this truth, a deep relaxation becomes possible. Let me share a story about a man named David. David was a planner. His identity was built on foresight and control. His greatest anxiety came from what-if scenarios. A slight cough would spiral into mental images of a severe illness. A strange email from his boss would become a full narrative about being fired. He lived in a projected future, and it was a terrifying place. His breakthrough came during a literal storm. A major hurricane was forecast to hit his city. For days, he was consumed by preparations and worst-case visions. When the storm finally arrived, he was hunkered down, listening to the howling wind. And in that moment, an odd clarity descended. All the planning was over. The what-if was now a what-is. And the what-is was just sound, and rain, and the feeling of being in a sturdy house. He realized his days of anxiety had not changed the storm one bit. They had only created a secondary storm inside his mind. The actual experience of the storm, while intense, was just sensory data. The terror had been in the anticipation. He saw, viscerally, that the future is a mental phantom. The only thing that ever exists is the present moment reality, which we can meet with awareness. When the storm passed, this insight didn't leave him. He began to notice his what-if thoughts as just that, thoughts. He would feel the clench of anxiety in his chest, acknowledge it, and gently ask, "Am I safe right now?" Almost always, the answer was yes. He learned to trade the exhausting habit of catastrophic forecasting for the simple, solid ground of the present breath. This is the application of the Buddhist concept of right effort. It is the effort to let go of unwholesome mental states, like paralyzing worry about the future. You don't fight the worry. You simply notice it, see it as a temporary pattern of mind, and gently, patiently, return your attention to an anchor in the present, the feeling of your body, the sight of the room around you, the next task at hand. Similarly, the past holds us captive through the story of regret. We edit the film of our lives, focusing on the scenes where we said the wrong thing, made the wrong choice, or were hurt. We then mistake this edited highlight reel for the whole truth of who we are. The practice with the past is one of compassionate revision. Not by changing facts, but by changing your relationship to the memory. Here is a brief, powerful practice for working with regret. 1. When a painful memory arises, don't push it away. Pause. Feel where it lives in your body. A heaviness, a sinking, a tension. 2. Place a hand on that part of your body. Offer it the warmth of your touch. 3. Silently speak to the younger version of yourself in that memory. Say, I see you. You were doing the best you could with what you knew then. It's over now. You are safe here, in this moment. 4. Take a deep breath and feel the present moment sensations around you, the light, the sounds, the support beneath you. This practice doesn't erase the past. It drains the emotional charge from it. It allows the memory to be a fact, not a life sentence. It is an act of forgiveness rooted in the wisdom of impermanence. That moment is gone. You are not that same person, frozen in that error. You are the aware presence that can hold that old pain with kindness now. The ultimate goal is to cultivate what is called the eternal now. This isn't a denial of time, but a shift in primary residence. You learn to use time. To learn from the past, to plan wisely for the future, without living in it. Your home base becomes the vivid, alive, sensory reality of this breath, this step, this sight. From this stable home, you can glance at the past with gentle understanding and look toward the future with open curiosity, not fear. The mind will always wander into time. Your practice is not to never wander, but to notice you've wandered, and to return, again and again, to the sanctuary of the present. Each return is a homecoming. Each breath is a reaffirmation, I am here. Life is here. In this, here, regret and anxiety cannot truly root. They are ghosts that only have power when we believe they are more real than the solid ground of the present moment. By practicing this, you are not being irresponsible. You are being supremely responsible for the only thing you can ever truly manage, your state of awareness in the now. And from this clear, calm center, your actions regarding the past, making amends, and the future, wise planning, will arise with greater clarity and peace. We now approach the deepest waters of the human experience, loss, change, and the inevitable endings that touch every life. This is where our practice moves from self-improvement to something more profound, the cultivation of unshakable equanimity. The Buddha's central teaching on suffering, dukkha, finds its most poignant expression here. We suffer not because things change, but because we cling to the way they were with a fierceness that fights reality itself. The wisdom of non-attachment is often misunderstood. It does not mean we shouldn't love deeply, care passionately, or feel grief. That would be a cold, inhuman ideal. Non-attachment is about the quality of our relationship to the things we love. It is loving the flower fully, while understanding its nature is to wilt. It is appreciating the moment without demanding it become a permanent possession. Attachment says, this must stay forever, exactly as it is, for me to be happy. Non-attachment says, I open myself fully to this, I cherish it, and I release my grip on its form, knowing all forms change. The pain of loss is real. The practice is not to avoid the pain, but to meet it with a heart so open and spacious that the pain can move through it without destroying it. This is the development of upekkha. Equanimity. It is the balanced heart, the mind like a vast sky that can hold the storm of grief without being shattered by it. Let me tell you about a woman named Eleanor. Eleanor's greatest anchor was her mother. Their weekly phone calls were a ritual of 30 years. When her mother passed away, the grief was a physical void, a silence so loud it was deafening. Sunday afternoons became agonizing. Eleanor's instinct was to flee the pain, to fill the silence with noise, to stay relentlessly busy. But the grief waited for her in every quiet corner. One Sunday, overwhelmed, she did the opposite. She sat in her mother's old chair. She felt the crushing weight in her chest and, instead of running, she let herself sink into it. She began to practice what she'd learned. She observed the grief as a set of sensations, a hollow ache, a tight throat, hot tears. She named it softly, grief is here. She let it be, without story, just as a weather pattern in the sky of her being. And in that raw, brave space of pure feeling, a memory arose, unbidden, her mother's laughter. Not with longing, but with a sudden, vivid clarity. For a moment, the love was present without the desperate craving for the person. The love itself was alive, a permanent part of her inner landscape, even though its previous outer form was gone. Eleanor had touched a profound truth. What we truly grieve is not the past, but the loss of a future we had imagined. The love itself does not die. It changes form, from an external relationship to an internal wisdom, a warmth held in the heart. By meeting her grief with mindful compassion instead of resistance, she allowed it to transform from a block of endless pain into a bittersweet, flowing river of remembrance and love. The Sunday silence became not a hell of absence, but a sacred space to feel that enduring connection. This is the alchemy of mindful grieving. This process applies to all forms of loss, the end of a relationship, the loss of a job, the changing of your health, even the loss of youth. The mechanism of suffering is the same, the mind's refusal to accept the new, empty space where something once was. We try to fill it immediately with something else, a new relationship, a frantic hustle, a distraction. But wisdom asks us to first befriend the emptiness. To sit in the quiet, unfamiliar space and learn its contours. It is in this space that healing and true growth occur. It is the fertile void from which new life, aligned with present reality, can eventually grow. Here is a practice for moments of ending or deep change, called holding with compassion. 1. When you feel the sting of loss or the anxiety of change, pause. Place a hand over your heart. 2. Acknowledge the truth aloud, with kindness. This is a moment of suffering. This is the pain of change. 3. Feel the bodily sensations without weaving a story about them. Is it a hollow feeling? A heavy weight? A frantic flutter? Just be with the raw physical data. 4. Breathe into that area of the body. Imagine your breath and awareness gently surrounding the sensation, holding it as you would hold a hurting child, not to make it go away, but to say, I am here with you. This, too, belongs. 5. Remind yourself of the universal truth, all things change. I am not alone in this experience. May I meet this change with grace. This practice does not shortcut grief. It honors it. It creates a container of loving awareness so the process can unfold without you becoming lost in it. You are the compassionate witness to your own heartbreak, and that makes all the difference. Ultimately, this work prepares us for the greatest letting go, the release of the fixed story of me. We cling to our self-concept. Our achievements, our failures, our personality, as our most prized possession. Yet this, too, is impermanent. The you of 10 years ago is gone. The practice of non-attachment invites you to relax the constant effort of maintaining this solid self. You are not a fixed noun, but a flowing verb, a process of awareness, experiencing, and changing. When you touch this truth, a profound relief arises. You no longer have to defend, prove, or desperately hold together an imaginary fortress. You can simply be, open and responsive to life as it flows. From this place of equanimity, you engage with life more fully, not less. Because you are no longer terrified of endings, you can risk deeper beginnings. You can love more freely because your happiness is no longer contingent on the other person never changing or leaving. You can commit to work or projects without your worth being on the line. You live from a center that cannot be destroyed by the changing conditions of the outer world. This is the promise of this path through the valley of loss, not that you will never feel pain, but that you will discover a peace within yourself that pain cannot ultimately touch. You learn that you are both the wave that rises and falls, and the vast, deep ocean that holds all waves. We arrive now at the stage of integration. We have gathered the tools. The anchor of breath, the clarity of seeing thoughts as weather, the compassion for self and other, the presence in daily life, the release of time travel, and the grace to meet loss. But these are not items to be kept on a shelf. Their power is realized only when woven together into the very fabric of your being. This is the cultivation of a mindful life, not as a separate practice you do, but as the way you are. The Buddhist concept of sila, often translated as ethical conduct or virtue, finds its deepest expression here. It is the natural, effortless integrity that flows from a mind that is clear, compassionate, and present. Think of it this way: when the mind is clouded by stress, reactivity, and self-centered fear, our actions and words tend to create more friction, more suffering, for ourselves and others. We snap, we hide, we grasp. But when the mind is clarified through consistent practice, a different kind of action emerges. It's not forced morality, but organic wisdom. You speak truth because you see clearly. You act with kindness because you feel connected. You exercise patience because you understand the nature of causes and conditions. Your life becomes a natural expression of inner peace. This is about moving from practice to embodiment. Let me share a story about a man named Leo. Leo had practiced meditation for years. He could sit in stillness, he understood the concepts, but he often felt a disconnect between his quiet mornings and the chaos of his day as a community center director. He felt like two people. The calm meditator and the stressed-out manager. The integration point came during a funding crisis that threatened the center's most vital program. His team was panicked, the board was demanding answers, and his old pattern was to mirror the panic, working frantically from fear. This time, something different happened. In the middle of a tense meeting, feeling his heart race, he remembered to feel his feet on the floor. He took one conscious breath. In that pause, he didn't find a magical solution. He found space. And from that space, he saw not just the problem, but his team's faces, their fear, their dedication. His motivation shifted from, "I must fix this or I'm a failure," to, "How can I serve this situation with clarity and care?" He spoke more slowly. He listened more deeply. He acknowledged the fear in the room before jumping to strategy. The plan they built from that calmer, more collective space was more creative and resilient than any frantic solution born of panic. Leo realized his practice wasn't just for him. Its true value was its ripple effect. His inner stability became a stabilizing force for his entire community. This is right action and right livelihood in motion. Your integration will look different, but the principle is universal. Your transformed awareness transforms your environment. It begins with setting a conscious intention each day. Not a to-do list, but a quality of being. As you wake, before you rise, ask, "How shall I meet this day? Can I meet it with presence? Can I meet others with kindness? Can I meet challenges with curiosity?" This plants a seed that will influence countless unconscious choices. Next, establish mindful transitions. The gaps between activities are where we typically get hijacked by autopilot. Create a ritual of presence for these gates. Before starting your car, take 3 breaths and feel your hands on the wheel. Before opening your computer, pause, feel your body in the chair, and set an intention for your work. Before walking into your home, pause at the door, let go of the day's mental clutter, and cross the threshold as a conscious decision to be present. These tiny rituals are stitches that sew mindfulness into the garment of your day. Finally, we come to the cultivation of joy, mudita, and appreciation. A mindful life is not a somber one. It is a life where you are fully available for joy because you are fully present to receive it. The mind often discounts small pleasures in its craving for big ones. Integration means practicing the conscious savoring of the good that is already here. The warmth of the sun through a window. The taste of clean water. The comfort of a well-worn chair. When you consciously receive these micro moments of pleasure, you are not just feeling good. You are training your brain's negativity bias. You are building neural pathways for gratitude and contentment. Let's practice this integration right now with a 3-minute breathing space, a portable practice for any moment. 1. Awareness. 1 minute ask, what is my experience right now? Acknowledge thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations without judgment. Simply note, thinking, worrying, tightness here. 2. Gathering. 1 minute. Gently gather your full attention to the physical sensations of the breath. Follow each in-breath and out-breath, using it as an anchor to the present moment. 3. Expanding. 1 minute expand your awareness from the breath to include the whole body, its posture, its aliveness, and then to the space around you. Carry this expanded, present moment awareness into your next activity. This micro-practice is a complete cycle of integration. Acknowledging what is, centering in presence, and then engaging the world from that center. As this integration deepens, you'll notice a quiet confidence arising. You won't need to call yourself a mindful person. It will be evident in your calm demeanor, your thoughtful responses, your resilient spirit. The path stops being something you are on and becomes something you are. The separate self that was struggling to be peaceful dissolves into the peaceful activity of living itself. You become a clear vessel through which life flows with less resistance, less drama, and more grace, kindness, and authentic joy. And so we arrive here, at the end of our beginning. You now hold a map, not to a distant treasure, but to the ground beneath your own feet. You have the tools to recognize the weather of your mind, to anchor in the sky of awareness, to meet yourself and others with compassionate clarity, and to find the sacred in the ordinary. This is not theoretical knowledge. It is a living practice, a way of being that deepens with every conscious breath you take. The journey does not end, it simply becomes your natural stride. There will be days when the mind is stormy, when old patterns feel irresistible, when presence seems like a distant memory. This is not failure. This is the practice. The path isn't measured by how calm you remain, but by the speed and kindness with which you return when you've drifted. Each return is a victory. Each moment of noticing, I am lost in thought, is an awakening. This gentle, persistent returning is the very essence of the path. It is how the faint new trail in the forest of your mind becomes a wide, sunlit road. Remember, this is not about achieving a perfect state. That is just another craving, another if only. The peace you seek is not a peak to be reached, but the nature of the aware space from which you view all peaks and valleys. It is always here, accessible in the simple turn of attention to the aliveness of this moment. Your breath is its constant reminder. Your body is its temple. As you move forward, let your practice be gentle but steady. A few minutes of sitting awareness each morning sets the tone. Moments of mindful pause throughout the day weave presence into your life. Meeting difficulty with the R.A.I.N of compassionate investigation transforms suffering into wisdom. This is how you build an unshakable inner refuge, a sanctuary of mind that no outer circumstance can violate. The true testament of this path will be seen not only in your inner quiet, but in the quality of your life in the world. In your increased patience, your deeper listening, your more authentic speech, your resilient heart. You become a source of stability, not because you have all the answers, but because you are no longer terrified by the questions. You engage with life fully. With its joys, its sorrows, its challenges, from a place of wholeness, not lack. This is the enduring gift of the Buddha's wisdom, made practical for your life. It is the psychology of freedom. You are no longer a prisoner of your own conditioned mind. You are the wise, compassionate warden who holds the keys. Thank you for walking this path with Monk's Temple. Your commitment to your own peace is a quiet revolution. If this journey has been a light for you, please share it. Pass on the understanding, the stories, the simple practices. And if you wish to continue exploring, this community is here. Subscribe to stay connected as we delve deeper into the art of mindful living. Go now, not with a heavy burden of new techniques, but with a light heart. You carry everything you need. Your breath. Your awareness. Your intention. The entire world is your monastery, and this present moment is your chapel. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be free. Welcome home.